Happy New Year's Eve, friends and listeners. We are back with another recording. And, of course, I've been slacking a little bit, so this one took a little while to put out. This was supposed to come out just before the Christmas holiday on Christmas Eve, but yeah, definitely slacked a little bit. A lot of work, a lot of family, a lot of life, just sort of putting things on hold for just a moment. But here is what should have been our Christmas Eve episode with a good friend, Farah, and her son, Morgan, joining us to talk about possibly casting a Jetsons movie. Have a listen.
Hey guys, this is your warning. We do post up spoilers. At times we're relatively offensive. We use vulgar language. So if you think that any of those are gonna offend you in any way, shape, or form, take your step back right now. Cause buddy, this is not the place for you. Anywho, have fun listening to us. And yeah, this has been your final warning.
Welcome to the podcast that is way too confusing for even the person that is trying to do it. This is Cinematic Anarchy. And with me today for this particular episode, a seasonal episode, or Christmas seasonal episode, because seasonal doesn't help fucking shit.
You can say Christmas.
I can say Christmas.
You can say Christmas.
You know what, though? Happy holidays.
Yeah,
there.
I'm gonna
go with the
yes.
the one that blankets everything,
Yeah.
and it pisses people off, certain people off.
Yeah.
Why do you have to say Happy Holidays? Just say Merry Christmas.
Because there are other holidays.
Not everybody celebrates
There are
Christmas.
many holidays. Yes.
But it is what it is. Do what you want to do. Celebrate what you want to
Happy Boxing
celebrate.
Day.
Happy
Boxing Day.
Maybe. I'm pretending like we're gonna put
that's
this
December
video out, so I
26th.
put my dukes up.
Okay.
my
we
Dukes.
have to say what we're.
Bo, Luke.
Oh, the Dukes of Hazzard was a show.
Oh.
Yeah.
As if anybody can see the gestures that I'm making with my
Mhm.
hands today. We are not recording
Well, and they
video
can't see my
technically.
cool glasses. I look like Linda Belcher.
For a reason. We'll get into that in just a moment.
I didn't mean to wear those.
We
I wasn't thinking of that.
are not going to be doing a conventional episode today. We are going to be straying away from the norm, or a little bit anyway.
Did you
We do
introduce
pitches.
us?
Oh, yes. I have not introduced the people to my
Formal.
right, which would go along with my lack of brain for the holidays. So, to my right,
Too much eggnog.
my good friend Farah and her son
Hello.
Morgan.
Yes.
There we go. I will stare at you and wait for you to say hi.
Aye, Captain.
What's up? Okay. That was a what's up? Yeah? Okay.
What's up?
All right. And today we're going to be basically going over, or not entirely, today we're going into the 60s, 80s, and 2000s to talk about two particular cartoons. What we're going to do is we're going to basically discuss cartoons that did not have a chance to have a live-action film, and we're going to cast them ourselves and try to pitch sort of a little plot for a film involving said characters.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
You didn't think of that?
Oh my god,
you
no.
just came up with people, and you're like, we're just going to do that.
And I only really
Do you know
came
how
up
boring
with
that
one.
would be? That's not creative. There's no creativity.
No, I have to fly by the seat of my pants. I'm, with the ADHD, I don't like to plan ahead. It was more that task avoidance that I had because I told you I was going to take notes, and then I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. No.
You know what, though? The pitch part is supposed to be the part that you fly by the seat of your pants. Nobody's supposed to come up with the idea beforehand.
Okay,
We're also
good.
to kind of work
Because I was
on
like,
something
forgot about
together.
that. Yeah.
So that part you didn't need to prepare for.
Yeah.
The first cartoon that we're talking about today started back in the 60s, around 62, 63. And they only got one season out of about 24 episodes, and then they got bumped to the 80s, where they were in syndication, I believe, on CBS, possibly Saturday morning cartoons or whatever.
I believe it was that we could only watch cartoons, Morgan, on Saturday mornings.
Well,
You couldn't just put on a Cartoon Network or YouTube or streaming. You had to wait till Saturday morning.
The context being is that this was sort of I don't want to say a spin-off, but an idea born out of the era of primetime cartoons in the 60s.
So I think this was primetime in the beginning.
Yeah, the Flintstones, they were not Saturday morning cartoon or children's fodder. They were basically an animated version of the Honeymooners. With a laugh track, yes. This was basically animated sitcom.
Yeah. Like your current day Simpsons, etc.
This was sort of a futuristic version of said Honeymooners.
Yeah.
Or a futuristic version of the Flintstones. Kind of, because, Fred had his direct friend. How many friends do you think George had in the show? I don't remember him buddying with anybody.
I don't even think there's really many other employees in Space Sprockets either.
No.
You always had, the receptionists, the secretaries, very Mad Men 1960s. Yeah.
You had various robots.
And they had look at this god awful robot. How would you even describe that?
Top heavy. Very top heavy. It's playing in the background over here, and it is a very ugly looking robot.
Like a planet. It looks like what's the one with the
Saturn.
Mars? Saturn. It had and on a basic animation level, I don't really know much about actual animation, but it seems to be comprised a lot of triangles and circles. The animation. I don't know if you know any.
A lot of things like that.
Yeah, but very basic then. I mean, not.
Well, it's
so
the 1960s.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's all they thought the future would be like that. Like, look at the shirt collars. Why were all the shirt collars like crisp? What is it they used to use? Starch. Like they're all sticking up in triangle points. I don't know why their outfits irritate me.
Oh, well, I mean, it looks like you could get cut in the jugular by your collar at any second.
He just got picked up by his collar by a robot. Yeah.
Why
there was a lot of that.
Why is his boss so short?
Yeah. Why is his boss so short?
Yeah.
I don't, because he was
sitting in an entire room of Unilube.
Oh my God. What even?
Okay, we've got to stop watching the cartoon in the background. This isn't like a running commentary on the cartoon itself. We're supposed to be sitting down,
I know, right?
And kind of pitching our ideas for the specific characters.
Well, you have the closed captioning on too.
Why does he have one singular, Mr. Jetson? Why does he have one singular hair sticking up in the back?
Oh, to make him unique.
It's so stupid, though.
What was the
Alfalfa?
Oh yeah, Belle on Beauty. You remember Beauty and the Beast?
Yes,
they made her have one little tendril, so she wouldn't look perfect. So she would look flawed.
And why is he always crashing out?
If you actually pull on that little hair, George will unravel.
Yeah,
he's basically just yarn.
He's Weezer's sweater. Was it Weezer?
Weezer, I think. Yeah. If you want to destroy my sweater, pull this thread while I walk away.
The band Weezer.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, now the 90s and stuff have come back, so these young people are experiencing that.
These young people. My son is fully back into, physical media.
I love when them and their 17-year-old brother tell me, yeah, you have to hear this band, Mom. When they discovered Cake. It's like, I was there, child, in the beginning.
I was trying to explain to him beyond the clutter, as you can see, my over here, and I have Blu-rays and DVDs over here. Beyond the clutter, one of the best things about media is the physical object in your hands.
Yeah.
You don't get that streaming on Netflix.
Yeah.
You do not get that sense of ownership reading a book on a Kindle.
Yeah.
You don't get any of that. And Spotify, you don't get that feeling, that sense that you get with putting a CD into a player or putting a record on the turntable.
It's with technology, convenience, you get the convenience, but you lose out on the...
Well, a lot of people don't realize or don't think about the fact that your streaming service, your music isn't your own.
Yeah.
If that streaming service goes away, you don't have access to it anymore.
It's true.
If you lose your job, you still have your CD collection.
Yeah.
Okay?
If you get rid of your Disney Plus,
right?
There
You
goes
get
all,
rid, all the
your
movies
show.
go away. But
There
if you
goes
have
36
purchased the
seasons
Blu-ray
of The
of
Simpsons.
them,
They, yeah.
well, you can only get like 20 seasons of The Simpsons, I think, on
No.
actual DVD. You can't
Oh,
get them
on
all.
DVD. Oh, I don't think I've ever watched a Simpsons DVD. I know.
One of the best things about the Simpsons DVDs was all the little extras that they added in.
Oh.
You know, whether they had deleted stuff or animatics or whatever. It's great stuff.
Oh.
I honestly recommend picking up the DVDs because there was some fun stuff in there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like music videos and like ads that came out of the show, like the whole Butterfinger thing that Bart did for a while.
Oh, God, yeah. Better lay a finger on my Butterfinger. Butterfinger, they had in the 90s, they had a whole ad campaign with Bart Simpson was the spokesperson for Butterfinger.
Well, like I remember him like hooking up a car battery to one side of the Butterfinger, and his father went to grab it and it just electrocuted him. He was basically like Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone, just doing all sorts of weird shit to his dad to protect the Butterfingers.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So, what we're discussing right now, we're going to sit down.
He is.
Stop watching the show.
No, but I'm saying, like, you know, so Morgan had said, why do the females on the show all have the cute little button nose and the men all have the big noses? And even little Elroy had a cute little nose.
Let's be honest. 95% of the men on this show have dick noses.
That's what
it's
it is.
What it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. They basically have a hot dog where their nose should be.
And the women have the cute little. And
I think Henry's the only one that's got the little the
no,
short
also
snub
Mr.
nose.
Spacely had a little.
Does he have a short little
no,
snub
nose? I think it's because the height is the nose,
shorter their nose is.
So the tall ones have long noses.
So
just like penises.
Okay, it's just that's not always true.
No, but that's the old. True. That's the old. The cliche, you know.
So what we're going to be doing now, let's get into it because we can sit here.
Did I embarrass you yet?
We can sit. That is a parent's job. You're supposed to embarrass your children. It just happens. You're supposed to do it on purpose.
Sometimes I just break out in song on the middle of the street just to annoy them.
So I don't know if you've done the same thing. Outside of a handful of characters near the end, I have for the main characters, except for, I think, Elroy. Elroy was the only one I didn't have two picks for.
Children are hard to cast, as you said.
Yeah, so I had... Judy wasn't hard to cast.
No.
You know, because you can just find somebody that can play a teenager.
Oh, yeah, nowadays, yeah.
Which is easy, because, almost the entirety of the Yellow Jackets cast were in their upper 20s and 30s.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, some of them could have played the adult versions of themselves.
And in Outer Banks, all the they're teenagers, but in the show, but they're cast by 22-year-olds, 25-year-olds.
Which just shows you that a lot of it is perception. And, of course, I didn't mute my computer, so it's throwing updates at me with a doodle-doo.
Oh, jeez. I was like, what
actually,
is that?
Doodle-doo. That's Wayne's World.
I'm looking up the Jetsons. I think Judy was older also. Let's see.
Okay, I don't really think that I was paying attention to their ages. I think Judy was probably, their teenage daughter, because she went to high school. She went to the Orbit High School.
Okay, Judy, the daughter, right?
Yes, was supposed to be 14,
was born
15.
in 1919, and that show was in 1962 it started. So, yeah. She was in her 50s.
That can't be right.
Yeah, I know. Judy was voiced by Janet Waldo.
Though you're talking about the people that actually did the voices for them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was sitting here are you trying to say that she's 50 years old?
No, she was playing a 15-year-old.
Voice actors can...
15. No, I know, but she definitely sounded,
Voice actors can get away from playing real young.
Oh, I know.
I mean, I think Elroy's guy was even older than that.
Well, I mean, look at... I'm talking about The Simpsons like I'm a big fan, but
okay.
But just for example, Bart, is
Bart.
She's now in her 60s, the lady who voices 10-year-old Bart. Yeah,
but think about it. She has had 35 years of steady employment.
Yeah.
Steady.
I know. That's a sweet gig.
Now, we're going to start with George.
Okay.
Who were your picks for George Jetson? I had
when
two
I was
guys.
Thinking about it earlier, for some reason I was thinking of Neil Flynn from The Middle and Scrubs.
Okay.
Remember the dad from The Middle? I don't know if it's the height or just the kind of curmudgeonly dad that's really a sweetheart. Like, I don't
could
know.
actually
That's
kinda
just the
see
one that
that.
popped up in my mind. I can't.
I was
Who
kind
were you
of
thinking?
playing like stern but lovable loser. That's what kind of popped into my head.
Okay.
And I had two guys for this. The first guy that pops into my head for that, SNL alum, Bill Hader.
Bill Hader, as soon as you said that, yes.
Bill Hader.
What about Jason Sudeikis would be awesome.
Jason Sudeikis could do that. I kind of like him, but I don't know if he's like a George Jetson type. I could see him as a Barney Rubble almost.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, I could definitely see him doing Barney Rubble.
He's too tall to be Barney Rubble.
Yeah, he is. Well, I mean...
Do you know Barney Rubble wasn't in the Jetsons?
You just got to... I know that he wasn't. But I'm just saying, you just got to get somebody to play somebody taller.
Yeah,
than him.
yeah.
So you just got to get somebody taller than him to make him look like a Barney Rubble. He doesn't have to be short.
Remember, there was a live-action Flintstones
There was a
movie,
live-action Flintstones.
So let's not
that had,
even...
what's his name in it?
Oh, it had Rosie O'Donnell. That was... Oh, my God. God almighty.
I'm trying to remember the name of the guy that played across from him. I know that it was John Goodman played...
Oh, yeah.
Fred, and then... his name should not be outside of my brain.
Flintstones.
Because he was also in like
Moranis.
Rick Moranis, like he was in Honey I Shrunk the Kids, Little Giants, stuff
Rick
like that.
Why do I think we talked about him last time, Rick Moranis?
The second guy, if we can't get Bill Hader, I need somebody bigger, somebody that can go the extra mile. And the first thought in my head was Jim Carrey.
Yeah. If he was younger, I'd say Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase?
Maybe because I'm just thinking Christmas.
Did you have any thoughts on that?
Of who?
If they had a live-action Jetsons
yeah,
movie.
I was thinking Thomas Lennon.
Of course, Thomas Lennon. Yeah. I don't know. Does he have the legs? George Jetson, does he got some sexy legs?
Okay.
It's just because we were just talking about how he met Thomas Lennon at Rhode Island Comic Con, and
No, I feel like it would be
he was
good
wearing
for
his
him.
short shorts from Reno 911. You know.
Another good backup, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head, so I'm going to go in research this real quick.
Okay.
But the main actor, Ty Burrell from
Modern Family. Oh, yes, I love him.
Could probably do George Jetson without a...
He was in that
any
Dawn of the
trouble.
Dead remake. Oh my God, he played such an asshole. It was so off brand for him.
People forget how good an actor he is because of how
Until he
long
plays an
he's
asshole.
spent on Modern Family.
Mm-hmm.
He is a really good actor.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I think the problem is now people see him as that kind of goofy dad character.
You get,
It's the problem with that Bryan Cranston dealt with for a while because of being on Malcolm in the Middle. He was
and
the
then
goofy
nobody
dad.
took him serious in Breaking Bad.
Oh, God. He was
first.
not at first. It was like, I expected it to break into some kind of comedy. And it just kept getting more serious and more serious. And I was like, he actually did a really fucking good job in that.
Yeah.
So,
that's how you know they're, like I was saying, how the horror, just about every horror villain, the actors are just the nicest guys, the nicest people. So it just goes to show how good at actors they are.
Next
like
up,
Mr. David Howard Thornton.
We're not going to make the mistake that the television show does.
What?
We're not going to start listing the kids first. The wife gets second billing.
Yes.
Because Jane, his wife, ends up being like the afterthought in this.
Oh, poor Jane.
Jane is always listed last.
She's such a 60s housewife. And what year is it set in?
1962, but this is going to be I don't know what year the Jetsons was supposed to be set
I remember reading that they said George...
It was meant to be set in 2064.
Because they said George would be born now.
Close. 2062.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, because it started in 1962, so that makes sense.
So we're around 50 years away from this.
Oh, so maybe we will have flying cars.
I would love to live in an apartment
building.
Up
in the sky
in
a deluxe apartment.
Do you remember the episode, the apartment building where he talks to Henry and he's like, could you do something about the weather? And he goes, yeah, sure. And he lifts the entire apartment building above the clouds.
Yeah, I'm sure that's safe. Look at, they got two little twigs holding up this big...
Just these pneumatic poles.
Can we get into the? Oh, you're still casting that.
Yes, we're still casting. We're on Jane Jetson now. Who are your picks?
Oh, Jane. Well, if you're going with Ty Burrell, then Julie Bowen.
If we go with Ty Burrell, though, that was not my first pick. That was like an afterthought.
Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig would be good.
she's young, and on the show she says she's 33. So she was 18 when she had Judy.
Okay.
It's funny how they would think in the future people would still be getting married at 18 and having kids, and a lot of it is still the 1960s mindset. It's odd to I don't know where I was going with that. So who would
you pick?
Hmm.
It's a tough one to think about. Well, would you like me to go with mine for now while you're running things over in your head?
Yeah.
Isla Fisher.
I love her. Yeah, and she'd be about the right age. Well, she's maybe 40.
Right about now.
Yeah.
She'd be about the right age.
She looks young. Yeah.
Amy Adams.
Is it
in
because
the
of
same
the red
respect.
hair?
The red hair was the first thing that I thought. But then, my backup was...
Well, then what about Emma Stone? Even though she's not actually a redhead. No.
I don't think Emma Stone...
No,
I don't think she looks...
very girly.
She doesn't have the motherly look.
Yeah.
She's still got the girl next door thing going for her.
Yeah.
Which, I also, for some reason, just off the top of my head, I kind of thought Margot Robbie.
Oh.
Because she's tried to stretch out into some...
She'd be too big for that.
Well, yeah.
But no.
Well, hopefully her career falls off and she wants to do the Jetsons movie.
Right. This movie that doesn't exist and is not being made.
Oh.
Well, then we could just cast dead actors too. Why not,
Do you have anybody in your mind? Any thoughts?
You don't know. Hey, stop playing on your phone. These kids nowadays.
Playing games while we're trying to do the podcast. Did you have any other thoughts? Because you felt like you were going through a couple things and trying to think.
There's so many good actresses.
I know that you're just waiting on my Spacely picks.
Well, let me go for... Okay, yes. No. So, any of the... What about the voice Louise, Miss Christian Shaw? Is that who you're thinking? That would be funny.
In a live-action movie,
yeah, why not?
I mean,
I don't know, her voice.
I would see her maybe doing the voice for Rosie.
Oh, maybe she could be Judy. She has a very young voice.
Well, we're doing a live action, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Are you going to, make Judy CGI?
Sure.
She's, the only part of this that's completely CGI. They have, a completely CGI daughter.
No.
Judy passed away in some horrible accident.
Oh.
And we've just got a CGI hologram Judy.
Well, that's a very cute car. Why don't we have any lime green and pink cars nowadays?
I have no idea.
I think it
was
just
a dome of glass.
It just reminded me of Wicked. I think anytime I see green and pink together now.
Okay, well, we're going to skip over the kids quickly.
Okay.
And we're going to go into Mr. Spacely, George's boss.
And I had said, of course, I couldn't think of anyone else.
You went with the conventional one. Everybody thought of this guy.
Danny DeVito.
I had gone off to left field just a little bit.
Oh, boy.
Just a little bit. Because almost everybody that I've talked to thought Danny DeVito would be perfect. Yeah, he is the guy that
if he wasn't around the same age, I would think they had made the part specifically for that type.
Why not Peter Dinklage?
Yeah.
Peter Dinklage could do...
He can do anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think he could do that. But then my second thought was a guy that had played a villain in the past. And I think that he could... If he's up there in age now, so you'd have to make the movie sooner rather than later.
Are you just trying to think of short guys?
Well, he is short in stature. He's not he's not as short as the other two.
How about Kevin Hart?
Sean Wallace.
Oh, yeah. Is he still alive?
Yes, he is.
Oh, my God.
He was just recently in...
Young Sheldon.
Young Sheldon.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yes. Yeah.
Sean Wallace would be perfect for that role, too.
He's got to be close to 90, but yeah, that would... Yeah. No, I don't know. He doesn't... Spacely has anger issues, I think. Has some... I don't know if he could... He's just kind of a lovable... I can't remember him ever having an anger, a character that was very...
Sean Wallace
passionate.
is 81 years old.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? You did not watch did you ever watch The Princess Bride?
Yeah.
That was one of his most aggressive roles. He's had aggressive roles. It's just, he's not, nobody conventionally casts him as an angry guy, but I think he could do it.
Yeah. I think I just had seen him on shows like Young Sheldon and way back The Cosby Show, where he was just very mild-mannered.
Right.
So I got used to used
He
to
does
that.
do
So,
mild
yeah, I
mannered. He
guess,
is the
yeah.
or you know who else could do it? If you want a guy that could play angry, that's also kind of short in stature, Paul Giamatti.
Oh, Paul Giamatti would be perfect. Yes.
You could do Paul
Yes.
Giamatti doing that. And he's had the
Indeed.
facial hair thing before, so
Yeah, yeah.
know.
Oh, I love Paul Giamatti. Oh my gosh. He
Okay.
was, what was he in that you would, was he in Hunger Games? Why do I think he was, no, he wasn't in Hunger
No.
Games.
He's in a lot of stuff though, so I mean,
Trying to think of things that Morgan would, have seen.
have seen Paul
Yeah.
Giamatti in. I have
Anything,
no idea.
non-R-rated things. We have watched some R-rated stuff because I'm a horrible mother like that.
He very briefly played the Rhino in the Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, the animated one.
Well, no, he was in the Amazing Spider-Man. I think he even kind of had a quick stop off in the most recent Spider-Man movie. Was it No Way Home?
Oh,
Where he's one of the Spider-Man villains.
Oh, yeah, no, I totally.
He's totally missed that.
Totally forgot that.
He was in Big Fat Liar.
Yeah.
Fred Claus, The Holdovers.
Oh, Fred Claus. He was Santa. He was Fred's brother, Santa.
Yeah. He was in The Truman Show.
Oh yeah, you watched The Truman. I had them watch The Truman Show recently.
I'm just thinking he's been in a lot of different stuff. Yeah, he was in The Truman Show.
He?
I would have to scroll back and figure that out.
Never mind.
I'm not going back there right now. I am literally scrolling through my phone while on a podcast, which is like my pet peeve that I do it all the time.
I do that all the time. I gotta, you gotta Google. I don't want to sound like...
I usually go without notes, and today I wanted to make sure I had some notes set aside, at least a slight bit of preparedness. I did not prepare for the second half of this.
I just like to just be spontaneous.
Moving on to the children.
The children.
Judy Jetson. Who would you pick for Judy Jetson?
Well, you need somebody perky. Like a teeny bopper.
Okay. I have two in mind.
I was thinking,
both blonde.
If it was back in the day, Sarah Michelle Gellar. But I'm talking 90s, early Buffy.
Yeah, well, that's 90s. So if we did if we had done it immediately after the show was like pulled out of syndication, I think,
yeah. Nowadays,
I could only think of two that would really fit pretty decently into the role.
The young teens and
Chloe
stuff.
Grace Moretz.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Is she perky enough?
And I think Lulu Wilson.
Who is that?
Have you ever seen the movie Becky?
No.
Okay, if you haven't seen the movie Becky, that's the most prominent one that she's done recently.
I've never heard of her. Well, I like anybody with a name like that.
She kind of played a little psychotic in that, though.
Oh, well, I love that.
This is Lulu Wilson.
Oh.
I honestly recommend watching Becky and...
The Wrath of Becky?
The second one, The Wrath of Becky. That's the sequel. She was in Ouija. She was in Annabelle Creation.
Like a lot of horror movies.
She's been in a lot of horror movies. She was also the kid.
I don't really
the little
watch that.
kid in Cop and a Half 2, the sequel to Cop and a Half that has Lou Diamond Phillips in it.
Oh, okay.
But she's done a lot of horror films. Becky essentially is a movie about a young girl whose parents are the home that they're in basically gets descended upon by these like neo-Nazi guys. One of them played by Kevin James.
I was just going to say Kevin James, but
like
really?
And like a real like asshole Nazi in that movie.
Yeah, somebody told me they met him, and I won't say anything negative.
Okay.
I don't want to get sued by Kevin James.
Okay. Well, just because
was not the nicest person.
Everybody, let me just be honest. Yeah. Everybody can have a bad day. That doesn't just one person having met them doesn't mean that that's who they are. No,
but I've heard from other people too.
Okay, well,
he's not the nicest guy. And when you have some of these smaller, regular guys that become famous quickly, it goes to their heads. And,
well, I mean, think about the roles he's played. I mean, he basically plays the everyday schlub that ends up with the model wife or the model girlfriend.
Yeah, so believable.
Yeah, sure. Gotcha.
Right, yeah.
All right, so who did you have? Who were you thinking?
For who?
Judy.
Oh.
Did you have anybody else you were thinking?
Who did I say?
You said Sarah Michelle Gellar, but then you didn't give a more recent interpretation.
More recent. What do you think, Morgan?
I'm thinking Sarah in Outer Banks.
Sarah from Outer Banks.
Yeah, I don't know. Who
Yeah, see, I don't know these. Like, I don't really watch many shows from the younger. What about no? I don't know. I was thinking of the
Sarah from Outer Banks is played by Madeline Slean. Okay, yeah, I could kind of see that.
Yeah.
Her playing Judy Jetson.
Oh yeah.
You'd have to
Very
bleach
pretty.
the hair out because Judy's a platinum
Oh,
blonde.
well, they have
but
wigs,
We're
you
close, yeah. I mean, I guess you could do a wig. Fine.
Yeah, we don't have to be limited to hair color. Which now is Jane is that red hair? Why does Judy have white hair? You think it's dye? You think they dye it back?
It's entirely possible. I mean, you saw how they do the hairdos, right? The guy basically, you go into a hairdresser and he puts this thing on your head.
Oh, I thought you meant how they draw them.
Yeah. No, they had a whole thing where she goes to a salon.
Yeah, the machines. They thought the machines would be doing everything for us,
mean, mom and dad are both redheads, and both the kids are variations of blonde.
Yeah.
So either the salon's doing something weird, or mom is seeing somebody on the side.
Well,
George, those kids are not yours.
Brown.
Sorry, George.
Morgan's hair was red brown. Jacob's was platinum blonde. Their dad was red, and mine was dirty blonde. So we have 4 very different colors. Huh?
No one asked.
Yeah,
No one
they
asked?
did because we're on a podcast. So just assume that that's what somebody is.
We're wondering about all your children's hair.
Yes.
Yes.
Luckily, I only have the 2.
But everyone wants to know about your family's lore.
No, we're talking about hair and genetics. Like maybe George is not the father.
It's entirely possible.
She was probably right out of high school. Who knows?
The next one is the one that I had trouble with, and I could only come up with one person because it's the only person currently that I know still looks young enough to play Elroy Jetson. I want to hear who you've got first, though.
I have
Who?
So, the kid who played the main person in Boy Meets World when he was younger.
But he was never that.
Ben Savage.
What's his name?
Yeah.
He was 6 years old though.
I don't know. It's the only kid that I can think of.
I was thinking of the little boy from Malcolm in the Middle when he was the little.
I'm thinking
kid.
practically you would have to make somebody that's a little bit more than 6 years old.
Yeah.
Practically.
I don't know. There's some really good, like, really
Ben Savage
young
would be
actors
good,
now.
though.
What was that we were watching recently? There was this little kid, and I was like, wow.
Well, I'll tell you who I picked.
Yeah.
He's played the lead role in Sweet Tooth. He was also in Cocaine Bear, Playing with Fire.
Sweet Tooth.
We
The
have
little
Christian
adorable
Convery.
boy. Oh my gosh, he would be so cute. He's got the eyes.
I think that he could do Elroy Jetson with no problem.
You definitely need. You need very cute eyes.
The kid who does in Percy Jackson.
Percy Jackson.
I don't know. I feel like he's like 6 years old. He's like 13 years old, but like I feel like he's like blonde and he's I forget his name. He has like curly hair.
Not even so much the hair. But you need the big. Oh look, the baby has those eyes too. So in their universe, they don't get whites of their eyes till they're what, preteens or teens.
Looks like
they just have the black circles. I don't think any of the adults have these.
The children are just demons.
They're the complete opposite of Little Orphan Annie. Remember, didn't she have all white eyes?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they're the opposite. The kids in the Jetsons.
They have all black eyes.
Like,
they're just
Coraline eyes.
I know that's his name. Walker Scoville.
What is that?
He
Who's
plays
that?
Percy Jackson in the thing.
Oh.
See?
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, he's cute. Oh, maybe if he was a few years younger.
Okay, yeah. No, I could see that. If we caught him at the time that he was young, I could see that.
Now, what about Rosie?
Rosie?
Do you remember Spaceballs? Remember when Joan Rivers was the robot,
Yes,
the
I
android?
remember that.
Oh my god, nobody could do
I
that
had
better.
2 very different people for the idea of Rosie.
Yeah.
But then I as I'm reading my names back to me, I'm thinking to myself, I don't like the first one because I just don't feel like it sounds like Rosie at all. So I changed it up.
To who?
So originally I had Melissa McCarthy as my first pick.
Oh my gosh, yes. You'd have to have somebody that'd be good with voices.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't think she's good with voices as far as I can tell outside of maybe Redneck.
Yeah.
So my second choice was Rosie Perez.
Rosie Perez.
Rosie
Are you
Perez.
just because her name's Rosie? Is that
No.
Let's go with
literally,
Roseanne.
Have you heard the thick Brooklyn accent that she has on her? Yeah.
Well, no, Rosie. She has I haven't really paid attention to
Rosie Perez.
No, I know. I'm
not talking about the.
No, I'm talking about the robot. What does a robot sound like?
Oh, good Lord! I don't remember. I don't have the ability to turn it up right now because we're in the middle of the podcast. But I can bring it up afterwards.
Yeah.
Because the other thought that I had was Fran Drescher.
Somebody. Oh God, yes. Yeah, just somebody that's like a Kristen Wiig, somebody that's good with impressions,
good with voices.
Or who was the other one that was the cute little lesbian girl.
The cute little lesbian girl. That helps so
from
much.
Saturday Night Live.
Okay, that doesn't help either.
From the Ghostbusters movie. From why am I blanking on her name? She even
Kate McKinnon.
Yes. She would even play. I remember when she did Justin Bieber, when she played a young Justin Bieber.
I could see Kate McKinnon.
Heck, she could play the Elroy.
The strangely large Elroy.
Right? If you had an adult woman play the 6-year-old boy.
Right. We could do a whole Rodgers and Hammerstein's Peter Pan thing.
Oh my God. Yes. She's tiny.
Why is this adult woman playing a small male child?
Well, I mean, that happened
Explain.
in The Simpsons with Bart.
I know, but that's a voice at least, like you said, but that would be kind of funny.
Okay.
Yeah. Kate McKinnon. I'm like the cute little lesbian. What's her name?
So I have only 2 other characters on my list. Oh, I have 3 other characters on my list here.
Yeah.
Mrs. Spacely.
Oh, God.
So we have Mr. Spacely, Mrs. Spacely.
Poor Mrs. Spacely. Oh.
There's only one person that I could think of for that role,
cooking.
just because of the voice. And the first thought in my head was Angelica Houston.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, isn't she no longer with us?
Angelica Houston, she's still alive, isn't she? Did she pass away? Oh my God!
I hate
More
that
dead
game.
people.
It's funny. I was thinking of
oh, you're killing
from
me here.
Everybody Loves Raymond.
No, she's 73 right now. She hasn't passed away yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh
wait.
my God! I'm so sorry.
Her spouse died, not her.
Oh my God! I am so sorry, Miss Houston.
Okay, Raul Julia, the guy that played her husband.
Yeah. Oh my God.
In the Addams Family, passed away. Angelica has not left the
what
earth
was I
yet.
just
Why would you
saying?
do that to me?
I don't know what you're saying.
Oh God, who was I? Oh, the mother one that did pass away. From Everybody Loves Raymond.
Okay.
Doris, was it?
Yes,
Doris
I know
Roberts.
she passed away.
Yeah, she would have been good as Mrs. Spacely.
Okay, she could. You know who else would be good as Mrs. Spacely? And I'm trying to remember her name. That's going to bother me too. Stifler's mom there.
Oh my God! Yes. Jennifer.
Jennifer Coolidge.
Coolidge. Oh, I love.
Jennifer Coolidge
Oh
would
my
make a
God.
pretty
She
good.
would be good as
Not
Rosie
Jennifer Coolidge.
with the voices. She does some good voices.
You know, she could probably do double time on here.
Yeah.
You could save a little bit of money. Cast her as Mrs. Spacely.
I mean, she could just do a voice for Rosie, and they could just have a, robot, an actual. Do they have robots like that now?
I don't know, but it would be really funny to watch them make a movie with robots that look like this.
Do you know when I got a Roomba about 7 years ago? Of course, I named it Rosie because when I was a child,
Rosie the Roomba.
I always wanted a robot housekeeper, and so of course I named her Rosie. Rosie the Roomba.
Rosie the Roomba.
She's kind of retired. I use real vacuums
Retired.
Okay.
now. She's retired to under the kitchen table.
Are there any other thoughts you? Okay, so any other thoughts you would have, or
About what?
Mrs. Spacely?
Oh God.
Oh, you already had your
Yeah,
thought,
like
which was
Doris Roberts, but she's dead.
so you were upset that I picked somebody that might have passed away that didn't, and
Yeah.
you picked somebody
Well,
that you
because
definitely knew passed
I
away.
think I was thinking of her at the same time, and when you said Angelica Houston, I was like, did she
Dig her
pass
up,
away?
throw her in front of the camera. She can get one last roll out. We need you for the Jetsons. Use DNA, create a new one.
Or Betty White. Oh,
Betty
Betty
White.
White would have been wonderful. Why am I picking all the dead ones? How about Robin Williams? Let's just.
Yeah, we could
horrible.
need him for George.
Oh God. Yeah.
All right, 2 other actors, 2 other characters. Mr. Cogswell.
which I barely remember him.
You barely
Mr.
remember him.
Cogswell was the
evil
the competition against Spacely. They were rivals. That's the word. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think they overestimated that we would need so many cogs and sprockets in the future.
Spacely was
what is a sprocket?
Like really greedy, and Cogswell was just sort of a pompous ass.
He always had a cigar in his mouth, like yeah.
A lot of smoking.
There was a lot of cigars.
J.K. Simmons.
Okay, we'll do all right with it. Yes, I can't think of anyone better.
You can't think of anybody better at all.
No. Oh yeah, what's his name from Hunger Games? That was Flickerman there. I love him.
Who?
Oh my God,
Stanley Tucci.
Stanley Tucci, yes.
I guess Stanley Tucci could probably do that pretty well. He could play a pompous ass with a cigar in his mouth.
But yeah.
So is J.K. Simmons, though. J.K. Simmons is like... Cogswell is really kind of a heavy-set guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but yeah.
So...
Yeah.
And now that I look at it, Cogswell doesn't have the dick nose either.
I wonder what the... Yeah, there only seems to be 3 types of noses on this show.
It's only a hit.
And again, look at the collars. What was like?
It's pug nose, button nose, dick nose. That seems to be.
And the woman and the small children all had the little triangular button noses.
You know,
very cute, very like.
You know what I'm thinking though, because you see how his collar kind of goes out. We're watching the show again. We're just kind of watching the show.
Elizabethan.
And this one kind of folds down, but it seems like the guys that have the collars that are sticking up are the ones with the dick noses. And I'm wondering if, like, as you get older, the nose just gets shaved off by your collar from turning from left to right a little bit too quickly.
I thought maybe the richer ones had lower collars. I don't like blue collar, white collar kind of.
Maybe it's like the future version of buying like a big fancy car. You know, like guys with a small dick will buy big fancy cars. In this particular case, what they do is they just get nose surgery.
They get nose surgery.
It's just nose surgery for the future. Yeah. Rhinoplasty to make themselves feel a little bit better.
He has a very Hitler mustache.
I mean, if they can do that, there was a lot of Hitler mustaches in the show.
Yeah.
A lot of them. I don't know why.
Maybe just Charlie Chaplin.
I mean, I guess you could go Charlie Chaplin, but I still feel it's more of a Hitler thing.
I got to look up sprockets because Morgan had asked what a sprocket was. And I don't even know.
I only had one other character notated on this, and it was Astro. Who would voice Astro?
Oh, boy.
And there's only one guy that I could think of. And it was the same guy, Neil Fanning, that voiced Scooby-Doo for the Scooby-Doo live-action movies.
My favorite voice actor of all time, Mr. Alan Tudyk, would definitely... Would Alan Tudyk voice Astro? Definitely.
Because Astro and Scooby sound very, very similar.
Such a sweetheart, but he does the voice of the chicken in Moana.
Okay.
Yeah. And a lot of animals. He's done a lot of voice acting, like hundreds of.
Plays an animal really well, huh?
Yeah, he would 100. And you don't even recognize his voice. I've seen reels of him recently, and you would not even know it was him. And I know his voice, but just
I've only recently watched him in Resident Alien.
Yeah, well, so Morgan had their shirt with it said, "This is some bullshit," and he said the line when he's, and I had. Did you ever see Dodgeball?
Yes.
So I had an Average Joe shirt, and he goes, "Arr!" His Steve the Pirate, Steve the Pirate. That's where I first saw him. And oh my gosh,
kind of random, but the guy on the TV that has the glasses and stuff. He reminds me of that dude in Mario Kart. When you get off course and it's no, you can't.
That guy with the guy with the glasses giving the massage.
Yeah,
that's Mr. Cogswell. Yes, the evil guy.
No. This is a sprocket. It's a wheel with teeth that mesh with a chain rack or other perforated or indented material.
I didn't know that was called a sprocket.
Sprockets are power.
Well, are we looking up the difference between sprockets and cogs right now?
Essential components of many industrial systems.
Wait,
so what is a cog? I got to look this up because I don't even really know.
So we're trying to figure out why they're fighting against each other?
A series of projections on its edge, which transfers motions by Ocean by engaging with projection. I don't know.
Oh, I guess
They're
that
just
makes
both used
sense.
in manufacturing.
Wait, so are they still
Right.
together?
So explain to me,
I guess
the
that
only
makes
thing
sense.
that I've seen these people manufacture so far on this show,
Yeah.
in the time that I've been watching it, is that flight suit right there. What does the sprocket or the cog have anything to do with that? I feel
Well-
like in this show,
Oh,
they're
they
both...
made that?
the
They-
Cogswell made that flying suit.
Well, probably the machinery that makes it.
I guess. I can understand that, but that still doesn't
I don't
mean
know,
that
I'm
you
not an
manufacture
engineer.
cogs or sprockets.
Yeah,
It
they
means
make
that you're
it.
inventors, and it's two inventors pitting themselves against each other, trying to invent new things to sell, which makes
I
them
don't. Yeah,
more
like
of
I really don't understand what these
a
companies
blanket company
Yeah.
that makes different things rather
do.
than
Yeah,
just a
it's so weird.
company that sells cogs and a company that sells sprockets.
Yeah,
How
I
would
don't
you
know. They
think?
never really explained it.
How do you think a live action film for this might go?
Oh boy, why don't you give your ideas first?
How do I think?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you're going to do a live action film for this, I want them to lean really hard into the goofy ass technology that they made here. I want this to be an alternate
I mean, they
universe
do
to our own.
have some stuff that did not exist then. That are basically like video phones. I read even treadmills. They didn't have exercise treadmills then.
So they've had different episodes of these television shows where the Jetsons travel in time.
Mm-hmm.
There was a whole thing where they traveled back in time and ended up with the Flintstones.
Yes, that's what I wanted to talk about. Okay, with the Flintstones crossover.
Right.
The whole theory about the Flintstones, maybe the Jetsons came before the Flintstones. And how did it go? It's been so long since I read that.
Memory's not what it used to be, is it?
Yeah, right? I don't know if I'm getting my mom's dementia. Jesus.
Don't do that. Zip. No.
What?
Don't talk. Move on. Move on. We're not going to discuss dementia right now.
No. Okay, it's just the ADHD. Anyway.
Yes.
There was something like a nuclear apocalypse or something, and because if you think about the Flintstones, all their technology, like their cars and stuff they have, that they may have gotten, the ideas are like leftover things from the future, but that's been disproven. But that's one of the theories.
I mean, is there a way to either prove or disprove cartoons?
I know that's true.
mean,
I know, but it's definitely same universe. But and I also read before, well, does everybody live up in the sky? But I don't remember seeing it. But apparently they have shown the ground before, and there was a homeless man on the ground. So is it a thing of wealth?
Yeah.
That you have to, if you're lower class, you're on the ground, or the wealthy are the ones.
It sounds like the wealthy are the ones that are up here.
Yeah.
The employable are the ones that are up here, and the poor are the ones that are living ground level.
Wait, does that mean they're rich or something?
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty rich. Look at that apartment. Yeah.
I would like to see a time traveling episode, but not just
Yeah.
a time traveling episode, but a
I love time travel.
reality traveling episode where basically these characters from the future. This is supposed to be 1967. This is supposed to be their future.
Yeah.
Do you see 50 years in our future this happening?
No.
I would like to see them with these conveniences, these things, this being their future.
Yeah.
They're coming from the world of the Flintstones that evolved into whatever this is.
Yeah.
Somehow ending up in our universe.
Mm. Oh, I would love that. I
So-
love time travel shows and movies.
We have a whole
growing
beginning.
up in the 80s,
You may have to lean heavily into a bit of CGI for the beginning of it. Just kind of showing their world and their everyday life.
Yeah.
And you get to see some of the basic characters like Rosie and Spacely, Cogswell, stuff like that briefly. Even maybe Henry, the superintendent for their... my brain is going right now. You have that whole thing where ADHD is catching you, late in the day is catching me, and my brain is just leaked out of my head.
Very, as Morgan says, I'm eepy. Stop playing games on your phone.
No, it's Block Blast.
It's Block Blast.
Well, yeah.
Why don't you do an advertisement for that?
I mean, if
Block
he's
Blast is fun.
if that's how he's keeping himself entertained, we'll be talking about Bob's Burgers in just a few
old
minutes.
People. Oh,
But-
yes.
Oh, that, by the way, that is the second animation that we're going to talk about briefly, because we have some ideas that we may lean into post episode. We won't get into that right now because I promised too many things. There had been events that I had promised for this podcast,
Oh, really?
including one that you and I
Yeah.
were supposed to start with Miss Piper sometime around October.
Oh, yes.
And life is just a
life
thing.
happens.
Life happens.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
We're rolling with the punches. We will get other stuff up there. We will get our lives
I mean,
together.
remember I wanted to do a podcast before with a couple of my friends. And then, we just a little busy raising children and working and, life
Doing life things.
stuff.
You have to have the opportunity to sit down and just kind of gather together and get out of your life for a moment to sit down and have a nice conversation.
Oh, yes.
So
So yeah.
To
I
yap, as Morgan says.
I would want to see a weird episode, basically, where some mishap happens. They end up traveling in time and in reality to what our world would look like
Yeah.
in 1967. So a
What if
reimagining
it
of
started the animated, like The Wizard of Oz, which of course we watched recently before seeing Wicked. What if you started animated and then they went to live action when they traveled?
that might be interesting.
I don't know.
Just animated character. I don't want them to be animated though.
No.
No, because I think that you would have to stick pretty closely to the original idea of them as an animation.
Yeah.
And I think it would be too jarring to have this animation contrasted against some of the characters that we picked to act in their place.
Yeah. They're not really gonna look. Yeah.
So that would be like.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. I don't know. What would I?
Do you have any thoughts? Where would you go with that?
I love the time travel idea, but aside from that,
Or maybe you just do the live action version of the Flintstones meeting the Jetsons.
oh yeah, like the movie, yeah.
They made a whole thing. I think they did two versions of it. Didn't they?
I would love to see a band. Judy was always into all these different musicians. I'd love to see a real band, like our favorite Green Day. Do a guest. Remember Green Day was on the Simpsons movie, did a short appearance. Any. Yeah. Oh, your Chapel Roan. She would be a good Judy.
Olivia Rodrigo.
Oh my God.
No, Billie
Eilish.
As Judy?
Yes, that'd be so stupid.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
She's kind of too mellow. Judy's very bubbly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Olivia Rodrigo
Like old
would be
school
good.
Christina Aguilera.
She kind of reminds me of like an Anna Kendrick when she was young.
Yeah.
Who?
Do you realize she's like in her 40s now?
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
I
Why does
realize
she
that.
still look
It's
so
a little...
young? That's
yeah.
not.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on.
So I don't know about
We were-
another.
Contemplating. So now this is not an early cartoon. These are not things that didn't necessarily get a chance. I don't think anybody's thought of trying to make a live action Bob's Burgers film yet.
No.
They've done an animated one, like
I
they've
don't
done
think
animated
anybody wants to see
Simpsons.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have tried to cast animated Simpsons
Mm.
or a live action version
Yeah.
of the animated Simpsons.
But you get on shows that have been on that long, nobody could. You wouldn't be able to live up to, like, there can only be one Linda Belcher. You couldn't have another voice. Another
you could have said
Louise.
the same thing about the Flintstones like many years ago. But once you get 20 years removed from the original material,
But I'm saying, like, now, if you had, like,
you have to have the show stop at some point.
Yeah.
Which The Simpsons,
What?
Bob's
No.
Burgers,
No.
South Park,
have
none of those
Bob's
shows have
as
stopped.
long as they're still alive.
Live action South Park.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I wouldn't even know where to go with that.
That's
I feel like
horrible.
that'd be good.
But Bob's, I'm sorry, I'd have to have the original actors. Just I can't see anybody else.
The original
know.
actors playing the
Yeah.
actual
Well,
live versions.
So the gentleman, what is his name that does Linda? Oh my god!
Is it?
But
Okay.
he had based it on his mother, and
Okay.
he had whole skits on, I think, YouTube, and that's where he got the job, because of his mother. His little skit doing his mother was a lot like Linda.
Okay.
Like the Christmas tree. Just Google that later. Like look up his. He does these videos where he's a lot like Linda. So Linda's based on his mother, John Roberts, and I just can't see anybody else. I would love to see him as a live action. Playing a woman, playing Linda.
Has he played that in his videos, like as a live action?
Well, not as Linda, but as his mother, who Linda's based off of.
Okay.
So he definitely could. Bob, I love H. John Benjamin since back in the day.
I do have
and Gene, Eugene Merman is just he's just like him. I've heard. I was talking to a woman that had gone to school with him, because he's from Massachusetts, I think.
Okay.
And he was just, the class clown. He was such a goofball. Just such a nice guy.
There is a guy I think could play a live action Bob with no problem.
Who?
And I believe his name is Jordan Klepper.
Oh, I don't know.
If you look him up, listen to a video of him talking. He almost sounds like Bob.
You need that
from Bob's
very
Burgers.
almost monotone kind.
Monotone with a bit of rasp to it, though.
Yeah.
And he sounds like it. Like I watched him. He's on The Daily Show.
Oh.
With Jon Stewart. He does a lot of stuff on there.
Oh, I haven't watched much of The Daily Show in a long time.
So that I originally thought he was the voice actor, and I had to go look it up. I'm like, oh no, it's not. Okay.
Clapper, how do you spell that?
Kelper?
Kelper.
Is it Klepper or Jordan Klepper? Something like that.
It's not John Klepper.
Jordan Klepper. Yeah, this guy.
Jordan.
So this is the fella.
Oh,
he's got a bit of a beard going on now, though.
Oh yeah, he looks like a Bob.
He could definitely be a Bob.
He could be a Bob.
I just think it would work. And what's her name?
He's the right age,
That's not. What's her name that plays Louise?
Kristen Schaal.
I mean, obviously, you're not going to be able to get some of these adult actors playing the children's roles. You're going to have to.
Oh man!
Slip somebody in that's not.
Yeah, but Kristen Schaal is short. She couldn't play Louise.
She couldn't play that little kid. No,
that would be so funny. Nah, I don't know.
I don't know if CGI age regression works quite that well yet.
No. I don't know.
I like her as an actress.
My brain has gone to sleep now. Are you looking at Temu?
No,
I'm not trying to put you guys to sleep. Wow, have I really?
No, I put myself
knocked you out.
Well, no, I got my cozy raccoon Christmas PJ pants. It's nice.
Those are raccoons. I thought those were sloths.
Oh no, of course it's
a raccoon. Okay.
Like Linda loves the raccoons.
Okay. No,
We don't have raccoons around in our area.
We've just stopped talking about it altogether.
What? Raccoons?
No, Bob's.
Bob's.
You said you could talk about it for hours and hours and hours.
All right. Okay.
And then you went off.
Prompt me. Let me see. I don't know.
The only prompting was I was trying to get you to pick legitimate actors, and you're like, no, I just want all the voice actors. And I was like, well, you can't really do that.
Yeah. Well, no, in the Bob's Burgers fan group, shout out Bob's Burgers fan club on Facebook.
Okay.
Don't give me that look. We've talked about this before. People have brought that up if there was a live action. And a lot of people say, you have to go with the voice actors. But you're right. What about the kids? I could see John Roberts doing Linda. I can't imagine anyone else.
I can imagine them. I'm looking at John Roberts right now. I can imagine them kind of putting him in drag and making a Linda Belcher out of him.
Yeah, I'm telling you, watch his videos when he's playing his mom.
I'll be honest, I don't see the same with John H. Benjamin.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I honestly think Jordan Klepper would be a good contrast. And I think that would work out pretty well.
Or like you had said before, the Bill Hader. He's not,
I don't think Bill Hader could do the voice.
I'm thinking
though.
of somebody tall with dark hair.
I'll play a clip of John Klepper. Jordan Klepper after this. The voice is there. He would not have to put a lot of effort into the voice. You just have to kind of touch him up for the look.
Yeah.
Bill Hader's good, but I don't think he'd get that voice down.
Yeah.
So there's a lot there. I could see Larry Murphy, the guy that plays Teddy, could probably do Teddy.
Yeah.
With not too much of a problem. But then you start getting
the fish odors are just perfect. The Zach Galifianakis and who's Mr. Fish Odor? Oh, Morgan doesn't know.
You could use a lot of these people as the actors, but once you get the kids are the ones that you're going to have to really try hard to find decent people to do.
Yeah. I mean, child actors are just, it's difficult, It
is.
And the ages,
And considering the fact that I think the only one that you might be able to find somebody without too much of a problem with, it's not Louise, it's Tina. Tina you could probably get taken care of without too much trouble.
Oh, yeah.
But Louise and Jean, you're going to have to hunt. You're probably going to end up with an unknown.
You would just a nationwide open call.
Because they're gonna have to look for people that both fit the voice and the look.
Yeah.
Which is not going to be easy to step into.
Mm-hmm. I recommend Morgan. They made a great Louise last year. They were Louise as Edward Scissorhands. We got to go to Rhode Island Comic Con for all of half an hour before they got very, very sick. But I had to leave.
Oh, it looks like a birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah. No, they're playing a block game. No, I was saying Morgan would be just a wonderful Louise. I don't know. They're your friend Raven. We always say she's
got to get a lot louder for Louise. Though. Louise practically a scream level loud.
Yeah, you're not. You're too. So, you'd be regular size Rudy. You could definitely be regular size Rudy.
Yeah.
Which I just see regular size Rudy as a Paul Rudd. Maybe because that time for Halloween he went as Paul Rudd from Yes Man. That was his costume. Do you remember that?
Yes.
It was such a perfect costume too. Oh, with his pancake.
Thank you both for stopping by and talking cartoons with me for a little bit. We meandered. We kind of ran around
business.
All over the place.
No,
there's no serious business about this. We didn't have anything specific to talk about. We had to make our own plot lines. This was just a conversation. This was a little bit of nostalgia.
I thought I'd be able to think of things as, but it really depends on the day of the week.
Coming up with it on the spot. Honestly, I should be taking more notes. I got really pissed at myself. I had an episode that I did for somebody else's podcast.
Yeah.
And I had written like 3.5 pages of notes.
Oh my gosh.
And then I walked home and left them all at work. So that did me no good.
I should have written the notes, yeah.
It's like
I think last time I did take notes and then I forgot to bring them.
I never show up to my own podcast prepared.
Oh, remember
ever.
I was taking notes in the dark. They wouldn't let me turn the lights on.
Okay.
When we were doing Elf, and I was writing in the dark, and then I was like, "What does this mean? What is this scribble here?"
I had a headache.
You had a headache, and I couldn't turn the lights on.
I do not understand.
Yeah, I don't know my own writing.
Well, on behalf of myself and our listeners, thank you for showing up. You can find our podcast literally anywhere where podcasts are found. We're up on YouTube, Spotify, and all the other fun places. And Good Pods, who has been really, really good to us. And outside of that, thank you for pressing that button or tripping into wherever it is that you happen to actually listen to us today. And
you want to say hi to anyone?
Want to shout out anyone? Anybody at all?
Any girlfriends?
Shush.
Putting them on the spot with the girlfriend thing.
Okay, well, hi to my friends.
Okay, Raven.
Oh, Raven.
I call her Ravine.
That's not the girlfriend.
No, that's Raven, my friend. And my little sister, Fiona.
Yeah. Jamie.
And Jamie.
Okay.
You didn't sound so enthused about that one. And Jamie.
Oh, that's your bestie.
And Jamie. And it was her birthday on the 26th.
Yeah.
You got to put a lot of energy into it, especially if it's a best friend. A lot of energy.
And a birthday. Yeah.
It's her birthday.
Yay.
Shout out to my best friend. I don't know who you are, but if you're listening, thank you.
They're in the other room. They're married to you.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Don't tell her that I dropped that ball. Okay. As Miss I got to come up with my own thing, but until such time as I do, as Miss Nico would say, drink some water, you thirsty bitches.
What?